A new generation of trainers stands at the foot of a mountain. Up at the peak sits the thrones of 4 kings. 2 thrones sit empty, and at their feet is a wave of veteran trainers aiming for greater heights. Who will come out on top? Find out now on The Weekly Remark! Hello everybody, Dozer here, and you're listening to The Weekly Remark. I'm back, I'm feeling better, and I'm tired. Why am I tired? Well, spare me a minute of your time as I go into Dozer Life thing, because this is remark related. Well, relevant at least. I went back to college, starting this semester, to get a second bachelor's degree in what's called Communication Arts and Literature, which is basically learning how to be an English teacher. And, that's gonna make remark scheduling and stuff pretty wonky. So if you guys really want to be generous and nice to me, get your battles done, like, before Monday, so I can record these remarks, like I am right now, on Monday night. Edit them, and that means you guys get a weekly remark earlier on Tuesday instead of later, because if I can't record it Monday night, well, you guys might not get weekly remark until Tuesday evening, which also means that the video probably won't go up on YouTube until Thursday or maybe even Friday. Not that I'm threatening you or like blackmailing you or like saying like, yo, get your battles done earlier so I can do stuff more or anything like that. Even though it may sound like that. But it's just, if content kind of gets a little late from me and Remark as a whole, it's my fault. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be my fault. And I just wanted to explain that going forward. But it's been a minute and 30 seconds of me rambling. What you're here for is the Arena Revolution Championships. What is the Arena Revolution Championships? It is this neat little Pokemon League where you're going to be battling in different arenas every week. You're going to pick 3 types, and you can only use Pokemon that have at least one of those types as a primary or secondary type. If you're interested in joining, first off, if you're listening to this show and aren't in our Discord yet, what are you doing? You can head over to weeklyremark.podbean.com. That's remark spelled E-R-E-A-R-C. And there, on the sidebar of our website, you'll have links to the ARC rulebook, the ARC Hub, and an invite to the ARC Discord. Anyway, it's been 2 minutes of me rambling, so let's move on to the announcements. Starting off, news that makes me super happy. Doubles VGC. We have 3 different rule sets for VGC 19 have been announced, and Pokemon Showdown is already hosting them. However, here in ARC, we're going to closely follow the release schedule of each series. For the remainder of Cycle 7, VGC Sun Series is now a supported ARC metagame, and any existing trainer may use the Conversion Hidden Power to change up your specialty or even mastery. Cycle 8 will feature the VGC Moon Series, which starts up in January, and Cycle 9 will showcase the VGC Ultra Series. While these 2 may not be in Cycle 7, as a league metagame, we will probably still use them for dark matches. Also, for our referral payouts, if you're not familiar, ARC does have a referral program. So you can refer your friends, and both of you can cash in on some free loot. What we got here is Hart Huang. I still don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Please tell me I am. If not, give me a proper pronunciation. I want to be saying your guys' names right, because you're all awesome. But Hart here has been with us for 3 weeks. Therefore, along with Wyui, they each receive a plus power. Vendetta has now completed their 7th week. Along with Syracuse, they each receive a stance change, which for Syracuse may be useful with VGC coming around the corner. Hidden powers are shown as inventory on the roster tab of the ARC Hub, so don't forget about them. Also, welcome Na. Na came to us via the Reddit ad, but just came around to registering for this cycle late last week. Na, keep a lookout tomorrow for the fight card, and good luck. Some reminders on our rules here, the best of 3 rules. So a reminder that in a best of 3 matches, the exact same team must be used for each battle. You cannot change Pokemon, sets, items, natures, IVs, EVs, etc. Also, all battles are done back to back. You don't schedule them individually. Best of 3 will be notated on the fight card as B03. As a reminder, all champion matches and tournament finals will be a best of 3. Speaking of tournaments, finals, the IC Contender Finals are this week. The returning vet and our most vocal rookie face off in the finals to determine who will face the Intercontinental Champion down the line. Wyui and Hashock both have singles OU as their mastery, but while Wyui hasn't had to think about anything else, Hashock has had to battle outside of his specialty in the first 2 rounds. Now we'll get to see his true form. Wyui was our first ever IC champion, holding it 3 weeks before having to vacate it. Is Wyui on a destined path to get back the title they never lost? Or will Hashock shake things up and set his sights on SMence? We're also moving into round 3 of the #1 Contender Tournament. Abrant and Syracuse have reached the quarterfinals, so they will get a break from the tourney this week. They will still compete, but not in a tournament match. However, still important as a win or loss, and the opponents they face will factor into tiebreakers. We move forward into round 3, a pure elimination round. Funny enough, each matchup features a world title shot user who came up short against Venge and a former world champion, who's hungrier though. Shadow is 3-0 against Otto, but has the bare minimum experience in Little Cup, where Otto has found success with a 3-1 record. Regi has a favorable record against SMence, 5-2, but he's walking into SMence's domain of singles UU, where he is 13-1. Only 2 move on to the quarterfinals, and all need the momentum to stay on their side if they're going to win it all. And all of those trainers we just mentioned are in the losers bracket, so if any of them lose a match in the tournament, they're out of the running. Moving on to the ladder climb, Abrant, Syracuse, Hashock, Venge, and Wyui have all moved up to Rising Star. As for tier shifts, VGC exists again. As for our Dark Arena, VGC exists again. Our Dark Arena is doubles VGC Sun Series this week. New trainer, tracking our new trainers. So on top of not joining this cycle, our newbies have been making quite the splash. Hashock specifically is trying to make a name for themselves by starting the cycle 2-0 and advancing to the IC Contender Finals. With a bit more work on their end, Hashock may be able to make it all the way to taking one of ARC's longest standing records, the career undefeated streak, which is currently set at 7. This record is incredibly difficult to break because once you get a loss in ARC, in an ARC League match, ever, you are no longer eligible to work towards it since this is a career record. You must go 7-0 in your career to tie it, 8-0 starting your career to break it. Also, Pierre and Hart Huang have started off their cycle with a slight stumble, going 0-2, but they haven't had the easiest schedules either. Pierre has lost to Venge this last week, while Hong had a super close nail-biter of a set, again with some unfortunate RNG. Don't worry, you two. Shake it off and keep moving forward. That first W is right around the corner. On to our battle breakdown. We're going to start off with Show Me Your Power. So, Abrant used a change of venue last week to move the match they had against SMence from singles UU to singles Ubers in round 2 of the #1 Contender Tournament. Otto used a plus power versus Syracuse because he said in one of the chats that he would use those weekly from now on, and so he did. And we have 2 instances of stance change from yours truly. The first one, which is going to be effective in 7-1-3, is swapping Ice for Dragon, and the next one, which is going to be effective in 7-1-4, is swapping Bug to Fairy. Looking at last week's battles, we're going to start off with the big #1 Contender Tournament. Syracuse, our #1 seed, has defeated Otto in a doubles battle spot battle and sent Otto to the losers bracket. Abrant, our #3 seed, created an upset by beating SMence, the #2 seed, and sending him down to the losers bracket. Down in losers, Regi Nanos, our #8 seed, has defeated Dan the Gaming Man, the #5 seed, in a doubles battle spot battle, which has eliminated Dan from the tournament. Likewise, Shadow, our number 6 seed, beat Choose, the number 7 seed, also in a doubles battle spot battle, eliminating I Choose Pokemon from the number 1 Contender Tournament. For the IC Contender Tournament, Hashock beat Fire Gem in singles PU. Fire Gem was eliminated along with My Own Heart. And Yui has defeated Sage of Mugen, and Mugen has been eliminated along with what was left of my heart. Granted, I kind of expected Yui to win, but that's beside the point. So the finals match will be between Hashock and Yui, which, by the way, are the 8th and 7th seeds. So let that sink in. Also, my phone just went off. As for last week's normal matches, Venge beat Pierre in a singles UU match, and Vendetta beat Hartwang in a singles RU match. Once again, if I'm not pronouncing anything right, please tell me. Moving forward, we have our hierarchy. So we can actually kind of talk about this now. Everyone in the top 5 has a 2-0 record. There is a 4-way tie for second between Cyricose, Yui, Hashock, and Venge. So we're breaking that down through the strength of schedule. And first we have a Bront, though, who has 5.25 points, earning bonus points from those change of venues. Cyricose, who has the higher strength of schedule, being put in second with 4 points and a strength of schedule of 0.5. Yui, 4 points with a strength of schedule of 0.44. Hashock in fourth with a strength of schedule of 0.41. And then Venge with a really low strength of schedule of 0.27, but that's not really going to matter because it's Venge. Too early to talk about any rise and falls and shifts in the standings, so we will move on to look at our dark top 5 right now. SMence is up top with a 5-1 record, followed by Otto's 4-0, Venge rocking that 6-3, a Bront with a 4-3, and then Sage of Mugen just right at the tail end with a 1-0 record. Looking into last week's Game Corner, we had perfect weeks for both Bront and Evo with 14 points and 12 IVs. I Choose Pokemon, Yui, and yours truly weren't far behind with 12 points apiece and 10 IVs. Hashock, SMence, and Vendetta were just behind that with 11 points apiece, raking in 8 IVs. So overall, another good Game Corner week. Unless you're High Dart. Rest in peace, best upstate New Yorker. More Game Corner stats will be coming your way on this week's Economy. Catch it Friday or Saturday. Hopefully, SMence will be feeling well and will be back. And I'd like to take this moment to publicly apologize for any snarky comments I may have had when I recorded our Economy. I was unaware that SMence had a very severe, not like super severe as in like life-threatening severe, but a very important medical emergency to take care of. He's doing fine. He's back in the community. He's back everywhere. He hadn't told me, but he's excused on that one. Like, that is totally just an unfortunate incident. So I just want to have that public apology of, I'm sorry that I had an attitude about that. I should have checked myself before jumping on the mic. That was very unprofessional of me. Speaking of unprofessional, back to Remark, because this isn't a professional show. Looking at our IV breakdown, Bront is up top with 165 IVs, climbing over Max, who has 151 IVs, or he's got one for each of the original Pokemon. So, like, Max, just don't, if you spend IVs, make sure you earn the exact same amount of IVs as you're spending, because that's like prime time IV count. Both Bront and Max are over 75% of the way, by the way, to our IV cap. So keep that in mind as we're moving forward. I Choose Pokemon with 139 IVs right behind them, and then Yui with 112 IVs, and then Fire Gem, the only one of our top 5 who was under 100 with 89 IVs to his name. Going towards the record watch, the only thing we're keeping our eye on right now in the league records department is the most IV spent in a cycle. The record was 84, set by Bront. We're only 2 weeks in, but yours truly, the one and only DozerZigashi, has already spent 56 IVs, on top of all which On top of all of this, which there is promise of more, as I try to fix my types and convert to the newly released VGC rules. I calculated 3 stance change and a conversion is 99 IV, so I will break that record very soon. And from Evo's note, we hope to see Dozer come out of retirement and have a good run in Arc, but we'd also like to see that record broken. Don't worry, Evo. I got your back. Unless you're talking about my winning streak record, and in case, don't worry, Evo. I still got your back. And that has been all from me this week on the Weekly Remark. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast app, or on our website, if you're on our website, first off, hit that like button. Oh my gosh, I am turning into... You start uploading YouTube episodes and you start telling people to smack a like button, it invests you. So like the episode, show some support. You can comment on the website. If you were listening in iTunes or something like that, you can help the show by leaving a review of the show or whatever you want. I just figured I'd leave that in here at the end here. Thank you all for listening. I'm DozerZigashi, and I will catch you all next week on the Weekly Remark. Hopefully tomorrow we will have a close combat episode for you from the one and only Regi. Followed that with an imprisoned from Dan, the man with the voice of silky smooth dreams. And then finally, SMence should be rounding out the week with Arconomy. So we will catch you then. Goodbye, everybody.